I was hooking a lot yesterday,
Okay.
and pretty much this is still something I'm probably not doing right. Anytime I really try and hone in and focus on pulling down the butt of the club, it's like a guaranteed shank.
Okay.
It's like every time.
Okay. So we might be holding the angle just a little bit too long.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, and that's possible.
So it's like focusing on that has definitely been the hardest part. So I just kind of worked on everything else we've been doing
Okay.
with the drills.
Good. All right, let's hit a few balls. What do you say?
Yep.
Let's change this guy up right here. What do we have there?
Pitching wedge.
Pitching wedge. All right. Now let me ask you another question. I know you've been practicing. Have you gotten out and played or scored anything yet?
I played with them at Brooksville.
Okay. And what did we shoot?
What did I shoot?
106.
Okay. 106?
A lot of penalty shots. I'm just struggling with this driver.
Okay. So off the tee box, right?
Yeah, and the putting, like he 3-putted several greens, which frankly is kind of hard with all the sand on it. You know what I mean? I have a scorecard.
So most of the penalty shots were off the tee with the driver, is that correct?
Yeah.
And what direction was it?
Right.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay. All right. So big thing I'm seeing here, right, is our low point is before the ball.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to take a look at this. I'm probably going to see you early releasing it if I had to make a guess.
Yep.
Let's do this. I'm going to do this too. All right. Take this, place this underneath both your armpits for me. Okay. And let's hit about 4 or 5 balls here, okay? Get a feel for it a little bit. Make sense?
Yep.
All right. So we're going to try to keep the swing and the arms connected to the chest a little bit, okay?
Three putts on the front 9.
Okay. How many do you have on the back?
I didn't keep track for some reason. Got distracted.
Venture guess that's probably going to be about the same. Give me one more. We're going to take a look at the elbow and the arms. What'd you shoot, big guy?
92.
I had
I played the tips.
Oh,
I had a bit of a rough day. I shot 92.
You got 18 putts in the front nine.
All right, let's take a look at ourselves here, right?
Just assuming it's yeah, probably. I don't, cause I might have drained one or two on the first hole.
Is that better?
My ball jumped. Right.
Set up again for me.
I mean, not on any other course, it's probably in.
Alright.
On up to the top for me. Yeah, there you go. Now you're getting a wrist hinge. Okay.
Oh, you wanted me taking like a full swing?
No, but we need a wrist hinge,
Okay.
right? That's going to be the big part, right? So if you look at Jay Rose right here, okay, when his left arm gets parallel, his club's up in the air, right? Okay. Good. And then watch how we're losing our angle right here.
Yeah.
Okay. We need to try to feel like, and I'm going to give you a feel here real quick. Go ahead and get on up to the top for me.
That's a lot.
All right. Okay. Now come on down for me. Yeah. Feel where that club is?
Yeah.
Behind you. Where's your elbow at?
In front of me?
Correct. Okay, let's do that again. Okay, up to the top. Come on down for me. Yeah. Better. Okay, it's a feel.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Good. You get a sense of what we're doing here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The big thing that you're doing, go ahead and get up to the top for me. Is that we're going. Whoop.
Yep.
Right? Okay. So we got to get that feeling. I know it's kind of tough, but getting it right here and then feeling our chest turn and rotate through. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Let's do that again.
So
Mm-hmm.
he does all those drills,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't translate when he starts swinging. I'm like, it's so frustrating.
It is
He'll sit
frustrating.
there and do that pump drill with the yellow thing. And then get out of the driving range and he just goes right back to it.
Time. It's a lot of time. Much better. Much better. Okay, see where your low point is now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's ahead of the ball where we want it to be, okay? So that tells me that we're maintaining our angle and keeping that wrist back and not releasing it. Good. Again. One more for me here. All right, feel that angle, right? Okay, let's take a look at this guy. Much better. Okay? Much better. All right, see what I'm looking at?
Yep.
All right, what's our head doing?
Dropping.
It's dropping and it's going ahead, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so if I look right here, right, the top part of your top part of your spine is closer to the target than the bottom part of your spine. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me kind of explain something here to you, just a little bit, right? So if I put two little points on the back of my spine, this guy and this guy right here, when I turn back, I want this part of my spine closer to the target than the top part,
Yep.
just like that. okay? Right now, you're you're still getting that left shoulder down, and you're moving into that line a little bit, okay? So here we go. So I'm gonna kind of move you here a little bit. Here we go. Okay. Here. Okay. That's all right, not worried about it.
Yep.
Okay, but we've got to get that spine to turn back behind there, okay? So let's do this. Okay. This guy back over here, put the club across our chest like we did. Okay. Yeah. Okay, once again. Yeah, there you go, partner. Okay, chin up just a little bit for me. Yeah. Okay, good. Good. Turn and hold. Good. Okay. So now you can see that the base of your spine is closer to the target than the top part, right? Okay.
Yep.
Good. Again. Does that make sense, guys? Okay.
Yep.
All right. Good. Stop.
You can really see it on the picture to the right.
Oh yeah, you mean
Yeah.
Justin Rose? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a noticeable difference.
You know, and he does have a driver in his hand, so he's going to be a little bit further back behind there. But with all of our clubs, the bottom part of our spine is going to be closer to the target than the top part. And that was always something for me that always kind of resonated. So. Mm-hmm. Good. Mm-hmm. All right, so turn. Take the club, put it in your hands. All right, lift it up to the top. Good. Okay, that's where we want to kind of be. Let's see where our elbows are. Just a little bit. Down through. Okay. Good. There you go. Okay. Club across your chest again. Okay. Turn. Yep. Now go through. Yep. Okay. Again. Good. Shut up again for me. You're good there. Okay, good. Now turn. Yeah, there you go. Okay. You don't need to get that left shoulder up or anything like that. You're in a good position. There you go. Good. Good. Okay. Now let's not worry about the ball. Let's put the club in our hands. All right. All right. Slowly swing up to the top for me. Okay. Feel like our back's to the target, right? Good. Okay. Yep. Good. Come on down and through for me. Okay. Once again. Mm-hmm. Yep. Again. Okay. Good. One more time. Questions, what do you feel?
Just more rotation overall. I feel it in my knee.
Okay.
More pressure build up there.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now we don't want to get to the point where we get our weight over our right foot.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Okay. So I want to turn it in. This is a post. I want to turn into that post. Okay. Turn it into it aggressively. Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't want to kind of feel like it's back there and I kind of turn
Yeah.
into this guy. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. All right. All right. So we want to turn aggressively into that right leg. It's funny how that works.
How come I didn't give you a reading there, in the bottom right?
Ah,
Just missed it?
you know, welcome to the world of technology. I mean, I'd like to have more lighting here. I think that would really help.
First thing I'm looking at.
Good. Turn in aggressively into that right side, okay? Into that right leg. Turn into that right leg. Feel like it's a post.
Is that a measure of degrees
What's that?
on the above, ahead and behind stat? Is that degrees or?
What, right here?
Yeah, 2.5.
That's 2.5 inches behind the ball. So that's the early release
Yeah.
that he's having.
Okay.
So once again. Okay. All right, we want to feel like we're getting that ball and getting that tee out of the ground too, okay? Turn in aggressively into our right side.
That's what normally happens.
Do it one more time for me. And we'll see if you're actually holding it down. What you doing, okay? Turn aggressively into that right side, okay? Let's get that tee out of the ground. Let's take a look at it. All right, let's go with hip line. Okay. So let's take a look here as we kind of go. All right. You're starting to try to get that head away. See how you get that left shoulder going down?
Yeah.
Okay. It's going down too much. All right. Good job on the turning back. Good work. All right. Okay. Now I can tell that those wrists don't look terribly solid back there. So what we have here is we have a little bit too long of a swing. Okay, so you start to early release from the top just a little bit. The other thing that I can tell here is that we need to start working very hard on our glute or on our abs. Okay, I don't think you quite have the strength yet to start bringing that down.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's just getting in the gym and doing stuff right now. Okay, but if I could get you to stop right here, okay. See the angle that we have there?
Yeah.
We can maintain that. That's over rotation. Okay? So once again, doing better with the head. We're working on it. Okay? But if we take a look at Jay Rose here, watch his shoulder. It goes down, but not as far down as yours.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So, set up again for me. Any questions on the video, guys?
Yeah, what's he need to work on to not go down? Just simply,
Been doing it, man.
It's
That's
easy.
that's what we're doing. We gotta do a mess of that. For him, the problem is that when we do the training, he's doing it correctly, but then when he comes into this, he's going right back to his old process, right? So he's got to get used to the idea of more of this, okay? Left shoulder going across, okay? The feeling of. Instead, for him, and I think this is probably a little bit of a strength issue, is that he's got to get his left shoulder down to get the club up. Does that make sense? Okay? Instead of it kind of being more like this to turn up just like that, he's got to get that left shoulder down to get it started. Does that make sense? Okay. Cool, cool. Maybe like this. Good. Good. Okay. Good. Good. Shoulder going across. Okay. Down. One second. Go ahead and set up. That's it. Okay. You go again. Good. No. Once you feel it, you stop.
Oh, stop right there. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good. Okay. Now get to there and stop for me. Now drive it down and through for me. Good. Okay. Did you see how you feel how you're able to maintain that angle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Once again. Uh-huh. Down. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm going to let you kind of do it on your own here a little bit, okay? One more time, all right? Feel where that restriction would be, right? Feel that? Chin up a little bit for me. Here you go. Good. Okay, so it's going to feel like a 3/4 swing to you, right?
Yep.
Okay, good. So let's talk about this, right? Your low point is 2.2. Your carry on that went up by 10 yards. Okay? So here's the thing I need you to kind of understand a little bit. The further you take the club back, the more you're going to decelerate on the way down, right? Because we got to get everything back into order, right?
Mhm.
Okay, good. 3/4 swing here for us, okay? 3/4 swing.
This 3/4 is mine 100.
Correct, and that's
I
the
can't move anymore.
that's the beautiful thing about being young. You can get into those positions that we can't anymore. You know, the big thing is for young people is trying to get them to swing less, and for older people like me to get them to swing more.
Yeah,
Right,
I get it.
right. 3/4 swing for me, okay, partner? All right, 3/4 swing. Let's take a look at that, right? So we saw what it was before, right? How long it was?
Yeah.
Right? Let's see where we're at now. Oh, buddy. Buddy. All right, we're still losing the angle a little bit. Okay? That's going to take time, right? You see how you got everything kind of falling,
Yeah.
right? We got to get used to the feeling, okay? Because we're doing this really good. I like this, okay? You see how it's not parallel anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. That's good. Now the thing that we've got to kind of work on a little bit, right? And this is where basically working on our abs and hips are going to really help, right? Because what you're trying to do is you've got to get your whole body to come down to bring that club, okay? And let's kind of do this. So go ahead and get up to the top for me. Good. All right. So we've got to have that feeling, okay? I've got to have that feeling like the club just falls. Okay? So I want you to kind of just get here, let it fall, and then turn through for me. I'm not even worried about the ball right now. Does that make sense? Okay. Drop, turn. Good, again. Yep. Yep. Correct. So let me get the again. Let's just take a look at that. So come on in here, guys. Let's crowd around. That looks different.
Yeah.
All right. So, right here, okay, when we get here, we need to fire those hands through. Okay? Okay. And that's where we're kind of holding that angle just a little bit too long. Okay?
That's what causes the low shank. to-
Correct, correct. But if I can get him to about here and then start a fire right now and get his body turning through, then we'll be there. Okay? But the big thing is making sure that we get that club to fall back down in front of our chest instead of what we see over here. All right, see how he's just trying to get his body down and losing his angle. Okay? Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah. I assume that contributes to the shank, because he's not getting square.
Correct.
It's just so low.
He's so low like this, the face is open.
Yeah.
And it's just, exit path is out to the right. Alright, this path is usually about 4 degrees out to the right. Where's that one? Club path was 2 degrees out to the right on the previous one. Okay? Mm-hmm. One more. So let me give you a little bit of a wall drill. I think we've probably done this one before. Let me see the club here real quick. So there's one I think I showed you of a kid or a guy next to a bed. Okay? And what he does is he takes his swing, and then when he comes down, he hits the back of the bed. Okay?
I remember that.
Yep.
One of the first video you sent us.
All right, so you can see that he gets here and then he turns through,
Mhm.
okay? That's one way we can kind of work on this. The other is that we kind of get like this, we get on up to the top, and then we feel that club coming down the wall,
Okay.
okay? For you right now, it'd be kind of like this. Okay, so getting here, feeling that club come down for us, and then turning through. Does that make sense, big guy?
Mm-hmm.
Come on over here.
You're not doing that on my walls.
So let's get on up to the top for me.
PVC pipe? Yeah.
Okay.
I've used it.
Okay, feel how that's there?
Yeah.
Okay, do it again.
Just let your thug ride on.
Yeah.
Huh? So, as we go, okay, there we go. Let's try to get the club on the wall. So, here we go. Set up again for me. Okay, feel where we're at there?
Yeah.
Okay. Now rotate and turn through. Good. Again. Get the club on the wall. Okay? Does that give you kind of an understanding?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Let's come on back over here. Okay. Give me just a small little swing. Try to relate that feel, okay? Yes. You feel your arms dropping back behind you?
Mm-hmm.
It's not your side trying to bring it down, right? Yes. And that's the speed that we need to be swinging at right now. Okay, we don't need to kill it. Not a long drive competition out there on the driving range. Try to maintain that angle a little bit more, but you're doing good. Okay. A little quick, right?
Yeah.
We talked about the speed. Slow. There you go. Okay? Now you're working that club back in front of your chest. Give me a couple swings here. Give me about 3 or 4 swings. That's the speed we want to be keeping at, okay? We don't need to kill it, okay? Slow and low. Good. Did you feel your hands release there?
I can see it.
Good. Good. One more. There you go. All right. Turn your chest and release that club at the bottom, okay? Okay. 3/4 swing. 3/4 swing. So were you the one on the golf team?
Yes, it was.
All right, set up for me real quick. Let's kind of take a look at something here real quick. I think your brother will get this real quick.
Yep.
See where he's got that thing lined up on the hosel?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm
Why are
right.
we hitting shanks?
Because it's lined up.
Correct,
I was
correct.
actually, I didn't want to say anything, but it was looking a little close to Ozzy.
Correct, correct. So we want to get that more in the meat of the face, right? Okay, good, good, good. You can hear it, a little teeny sound when he's hitting the ball. There's a different sound, isn't it?
I had a problem with that. when I was learning, and
Mhm.
one of my old coaches used to make me set up with my club like here, this was the ball,
Yeah.
and then I hit it square
Yeah.
because my swing was so
Yep. Yep.
whacked.
So, yep. Getting it off the toe or whatever. That's what they.
I line my driver up past the center,
Okay.
like with the goal of hitting it square in the middle.
Well, the hot spot really on the driver now is up on the top
Yeah.
left. When you look at the face, that's the hot spot on those drivers now.
And how old's mine?
6 years.
Yeah, 6.
Good. All right. Lost our wrist angle there a little bit. You feel that?
Yeah.
Okay. 3/4 swing. Okay. Line it up in the face. Right. Not on the hosel. Good. It may feel like it's on the toe for you. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, good. Let me see if I can get a T real quick. All right, I want you to try to feel like you're getting that out of the ground for me, okay? 3/4 swing for me, okay?
What's ideal for the ahead stat?
I would like for him, obviously ahead, okay?
Right, but
Obviously
like
ahead.
1, 3, like what's ideal?
I would say there's an ideal. Let's take a look at the numbers. So when I look at numbers, I'm looking at LPGA, not the PGA. Okay, probably somewhere around the 2, maybe 3 with the pitching wedge. Let's take a look here. Pitching wedge, angle of attack down, 2.8. Okay. All right. So 9 iron, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1. So once we start to get to the 4 and 5 iron, it starts to, you have a perfect 4 iron angle of attack there. 7 wood, we're looking at, who cares, a 7 wood, but 3, 1, and then it starts to go up. Driver
Yeah,
hit on the upswing. So ideally, I would like him, from where we're at about 2 inches ahead. So when he practices trying to get a tee, what would be probably a ball and a half, something like that. So right about here, right? I would start to focus on, hitting that ball and getting through the divot. Okay? And that's just putting a tee in the ground or putting a piece of tape down if you're out there on the range and just focusing on getting that angle of attack down, which is going to help keep his wrists and maintain that back angle with his back wrist.
Scheffler is a 7 wood.
Does he have a 7 wood?
He doesn't play it all the time. It really depends
Depends on
on.
the course.
It depends on, so like courses like the PGA that they just played, those really thick roughs where you can't even get an iron down, keeps 4 woods in his bag. He has a 7, 5, 3, and 1, or driver.
Such a smart golfer.
They've all got them, they just barely use them.
So here we go. 3/4 swing. Get that tee out of the ground. Got it. Good. Okay, that's about where we want our angle of attack at right there. Okay, let's take a look at a few things. Path is looking good. Okay, face angle is just a little little shut coming through impact, I can kind of see there.
Closed?
Closed.
Okay.
Yep. So one thing I want to take a look at, go ahead and go through your setup for me, and then when you're set up, stop for me. I want to check something real quick, make sure. Pretty good there. Take the club and point it up out in front of me. So just like that. Okay, I just want to see. Is this square?
They're closed.
Okay. So I want to get that maybe just a little bit square to open a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. Now it's going to look like it's wide open to you when I put it on the ground.
Yeah.
But let's try to keep it there.
It's when I grip the club, I always close it a hair.
Yeah, and that just takes time,
Yeah.
right? That just takes time. Okay, feel like it's a little bit open for you. Okay, your path is doing really good.
When you say the path is good, what are we talking about?
Right here. So he's
What
swinging
is-
out. He's swinging out in this direction.
Okay.
Remember
so-
at the course when my divot would be like that almost, and you didn't know what was causing that? It was like a while back.
So just for explanation purposes, right? So this would be 0 degrees of our path. Okay. Ideally, we would love to have it 0 and have the face 0. That would be straight all the time, right? When they talk about the pro stuff, zeroing it out, right? Nobody can do that, right? But what we want to kind of have is basically a little angle. If we're trying to play a you know, what we call a push draw, okay, out to the right, coming back a little bit, inside path a little bit. We want to have our path probably anywhere from about 2 to 3 degrees, okay, when we look at the good guys. So we want to have our path this way, and we want to have our face just a little bit negative. Okay, so right now his face is more closed than his path, which is giving him a hook.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we could get him at, you know, 2 or 3 out to the right, and then probably 1 or 2 degrees with the face closed, he's going to get on a good start line. He won't be so far over. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So his path is good. So, you know, when I start with most people, that's the thing that I've got to fix the first, right? Is get them to swing in the right direction, right? Good job, you went the opposite way. Okay, so when we look at it, path is still good. Okay, his path is really consistent, guys, so we don't want to mess with that. But the face is wonky, right? Gets it closed, gets it open. So it tells me that he may be re-gripping it at the top, or he may be losing his grip. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's kind of go like this. Take this guy off. Him here. Go bring him on in. Okay. How does that feel for us? A lot more on top?
Yeah, it feels like it feels like my right hand is barely holding the club though. Feels like it has like barely any control.
It doesn't need to have. The right hand does not have control.
It's along for the ride.
Correct. And that might be what you're doing. Okay, now I'm starting to kind of understand some of the things. When you talk about your right hand having power, do you feel like when you get up here you're pushing your right hand?
No, I mean I probably am, but I
Okay.
don't like feel it.
Okay, so I want to get that left hand a little bit more on top. So he's the guy in control. Okay, the right guy is going to be along for the ride. Okay,
Like that.
let's do it again. We can make sure. Left hand. Okay. All right. There. Okay, good. Okay, so now you can see the logo on your glove, right?
Mhm.
Okay, you're getting a little cupping in this left wrist, which is good. Okay, we don't want to get like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so get here. Okay, good. Now let's bring in the right hand. Good. Okay. Now let's take a look at that face. Bring it on up for me.
Closed.
Closed. Okay, good. There we go. Okay.
Yep.
All right, so set up again for me. Okay. Now what I want you to do for me is I want you to hinge up for me. No, like this, right here.
Ah.
Right there. Yep. Yeah. Okay. How does that feel?
Weird.
Good.
But I'll figure it out.
Okay. Now go back to your old grip.
Do you have your grip thing here?
Yep. Now hinge up. Okay. Is it a little bit tougher?
Yeah.
Because what you've got is there's a little joint right here that you're engaging that can't be engaged. Right? So we get him just a little bit over. All right. Now hinge up. A lot easier, right? Okay. So that's going to help us maintain that wrist angle that we need at the bottom. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So our grip's kind of hurting us a little bit there. Okay? Let's okay, so let's come on over here. Feel that grip. Okay, so here we go. All right, so I'll get you right there. Good. Feel where we're at there?
Yep.
Okay, bring this guy on in. All right, good. Okay. Now hinge up again for me, like we did. See how easy it is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I want Michael to see that.
Yeah.
Michael's gonna get so pissed off with that.
Yeah. 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 So you see how the wrist angle is able to maintain a little bit better now? Okay.
His right thumb's bothered me from the beginning.
His right thumb?
Yeah, like where he puts it.
I've been
Here, it's
putting
great.
it. I've been putting it over.
Yeah.
I swear I have.
He tries to put
Yeah,
it on.
he does put it-
I s-
It's got to be like if I was holding a fishing pole, right? I got to have that Zebco, when I had a little Zebco feeling, right? You can't have it right there.
So like we'll be in the range, he'll fix it for one swing, and as soon as I turn away, right back to it.
And that's, it's just, making sure that you discipline yourself to check these things every time. I'd rather you go to the driving range and hit 12 to 20 balls consistently with going through your routine than 500 balls, right? You're just mapping bad stuff, right? So, when I watch those guys on the tour and stuff like this, most of the time, like Tiger will take 20 balls, 20 minutes, right? When he hits the ball, he's over chit-chatting, da-da-da-da, then he gets back into his routine and he goes through it, right? Okay? Is that what we're doing on the range?
I'd say around 45 seconds a ball. Like set up and everything, practice swinging between.
Okay, good. We want to go through our routine every time, right? Every time. Good. Good. All right, feel where that hand is, right? Feel how that left hand's on top, right? Feel it in the fingers.
Like that.
Yep, absolutely. Now you can control the club face. That's why we're losing it left and right, okay? Because you're kind of throwing the club down at impact now. Okay, now you can hold it. Good. Down through. Yep. Good. Look at that. You see how he's holding that angle now? Love it.
I have to like re-grip it.
Yeah. All right, where's that thumb at? There you go. Have that thumb on the side of the shaft. Good job.
I want to bring my other son over here and have him look at his hands. He's a baseball player.
What's this?
Then he's like, why does it all keep going left? I'm like, bro.
That'll be tough, man. That'll be real tough. Okay. Good. All right. Feel it? You getting a feel for where it is? Okay. You feel it more in the fingers?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. You feel how your left hand's more on top?
Yep.
Like what we talked about in the first session, right? I want to have that left hand over so it feels like the old motorcycle thing. Vroom, vroom, right? I want to get that left hand on top. I want to see at least 1 or 2 knuckles on my left hand. Okay? So, all right, when I look down here like this, I should see at least these 2 knuckles.
Okay.
Okay? Right now you're like this. You probably couldn't even see a knuckle, right? Okay?
Pretty close to what they do.
Good. Good. Now you got control of the club face.
Yes, that's
All right, good. Feeling the fingers?
Yep.
Good. Now just give me a 3/4 swing.
Put it right down the middle, but I know.
3/4.
Makes
Just a little bit longer.
If you
Okay.
Think of that.
Right, shorter than that. Left hand on top. There you go, feel the
Why
fingers.
your left wrist needs to be where it is.
Set up again for me. Do it again. Good, left hand on top. 3/4 swing. And stop. Good, come on down. Good. Good. Again, we're going for a feel. Mm-hmm. Come on down. Mm-hmm.
Do that, Chief.
Okay, good. This guy, just one check. Good, loosen him up a little bit. Good. Feeling the fingers there?
Yep.
Good, good. Bring him on in. Good. Okay. Good. Now, let me ask you this. Do you feel more control of the face when you're coming through?
Yeah.
Okay, that's big, right? Feel it in the fingers. Okay. Now, one thing we want to kind of do here, loosen up just a little bit. We want to get this pad over top.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys have a Sharpie in there? I think I have one.
Doubt it.
Let's see if we got it. Or something.
Did you make that thing or buy it?
What's that?
The grip club.
Oh, you know what? I got this at the surplus store for $4.
Surplus? What's a surplus?
You know, like these little thrift stores and.
Like a golf outlet thing?
No. Like a Goodwill,
Yeah.
stuff like that. I went on over to.
So they don't have one in stock, you just found one.
Oh, I kind of go through all that stuff, but yeah, they have these online. Probably maybe $40 or something like that. I think the company I used to use was Initech. So
Nice, but
INTECK, I think it was Initech, or maybe no, INTEC. That was it. Initech. But all you need to do is look up weighted club, golf club. They'll have a ton of them on there for you. But the big thing is getting the grip on there for him so he feels where that left hand needs to be so we can get some control of that. How does this work? Let me see if I got a Sharpie.
Feels so bad.
it's gonna feel bad. Grip is one of the most annoying things to change, in my opinion. Oh, I just walked in front of the camera.
Yeah.
See that for me? Let me see your left. Yep. Let me see your left. Okay, we want to get that over top, right? Okay. Okay, so I've drawn a few things on there, right? One, we want to get that dot pad on top of the grip. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yep.
Okay. The other thing that we've kind of worked on here is that I want to see at least my one knuckle. Does that make sense? We're
Okay.
probably going to see two, but if I'm not seeing this, then I'm having an issue. This guy is going to be pointing up towards your chin. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay? Okay. Good. Good. Okay. Yeah, I've got that in the bad spot right there, but that's okay. You-
Yeah, this part I can't see because of this.
That's fine. Good. Good. The big thing for us really is getting this pad over top. Does that give you a good sense of what we're trying to do there?
Yep.
Okay, good. So now you can control the club. Good. Good. Give you about 3 or 4 swings with this new, or not really new grip, but coming back to it, right? Coming back to what we know. Okay. 3/4 swing. See where our face angle is now? So much better.
Yeah, 1.0.
1.0.
What was it around?
We were at 3, -3, +5. I mean, we had a 12 degree difference. Good. 3/4 swing. Here we go. Okay. Start to lose that face angle just a little bit, okay? So that is more ideally where we'd like to kind of be. Okay, see how the path is positive, face is just slightly negative. It's going
Yeah.
to give us that nice push draw that we're kind of looking for. Angle of attack is down. Okay, so a lot of good stuff going on there. Okay. Swing out towards that. Okay. Good. You're set for me. Now, where are you lining that thing up on your face? Are you keeping it in the center, or are you starting to creep closer to the heel?
I thought I was keeping it at the center.
Okay. Good.
That's horrible.
Feel it in the fingers. There you go. Okay. Very good. Okay. Hands just a little forward for me. Yep. Good. Give me one here, big guy. I'm gonna take a look on video. Okay. 3/4 swing, right?
Yep.
What do you think your wrist set was? Do you think you set the wrist?
On that one, it felt weird. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it was kind of like one of these, ugh, like that. Let's take a look here. I don't think we really set our wrist there, okay?
Yeah, not at all.
Okay. You see her.
too far down on the left shoulder.
All right, so the hands are, so let's kind of take a look. You see how the hands are kind of getting away?
What do you mean?
So if we watch JT here, right? He's here, here, here. He's starting to set him a little bit earlier than you are,
Okay.
okay? And coming on through. Now the big thing is he gets up to the top, right? His shaft is going to be underneath this red line. Okay, maintaining that angle a little bit.
Yeah, like a banana.
But you can see that the club falls a little bit closer to him on his downswing. So
Okay.
let's look at this real quick. Let me kind of show you
Yeah.
real quick, okay? And we may need to give you a takeaway drill here just a little bit. So as I get on up to the top, right, or as people get up to the top, right, they get here, right? Instead of the club going away from us, okay, the club is going to come towards us.
Okay.
Okay, so as I get on up to the top, I'm here, and then as I shift in, you see how that club comes towards me? Right? Now I've got a good chance of maintaining that angle and coming through. Okay? For you right now, you're getting on up to the top, and then it's throwing it, right? And we've just got to get used to the idea, feeling that as I shift, right, that's where my start is, getting here, shifting into my left side, right? So watch how that club comes closer to me, right? It's coming closer to my head, right? Okay? That's where you get your lag from, okay? You're not going to get your lag from getting here and then holding the angle.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Okay, your angle of attack or your shaft lean is going to come here. Okay, so as that comes and falls forward, now I can swing that club right in front of my chest and maintain that angle. Does that make sense? Okay?
Yeah.
So as we get on up to the top, right, and we're going to need to give you a takeaway drill, right? Up to the top, boom, boom. Everything's going to come towards me, not away from me. Does that make sense, big guy?
Yep.
Okay. So let me give you a little bit of a takeaway drill, because what I kind of see here is that you're not getting a good wrist set to start off with. Does that make sense? Okay. So what we want to kind of do here is we're going to take one ball, place it on up over here. Another one probably about 8 inches behind. Okay. About one ball inside. Okay. What we want to kind of do, as I get to hitting this ball, that's when I'm going to hinge up.
Okay.
Okay, see where my hands are in relationship to my foot? They're set right there, right? Okay, for you it's kind of like this. All right, and that's why the left shoulder goes down so much. It's because we're holding that angle. So, as we do this, right, watch what I kind of do. Where's my angle at?
What do you mean? Like?
I've got that L.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Okay. So once again, come on over here. All right. Does that make sense, guys?
So, what is the setup for these two balls?
Right. So
8
we're
inches
going to
behind.
8 inches behind and about one ball inside.
The back one, or the front one's inside?
So this is the ball we set up to.
Yep.
Okay. So it's 8 inches behind, one ball inside.
Okay.
Okay. So when he takes the club back, that's when he needs to start to hinge. So it gives him a reference point of
Yeah.
where he needs to be.
Yeah.
Right now it's kind of like this. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
See how my left shoulder's got to go down?
Yeah.
Right? Because he hasn't started his wrist hinge. If I can get him to push that back and get here, right, and then set, that's where he's going to start getting his forward shaft lean at. Okay? Right now, he's still kind of doing a little bit of this. All right, he gets here, and then he's got to back out. Okay, so come on in here, big guy.
Michael wouldn't even hit that ball. The way his swing is,
Okay.
he comes up and out. So he wouldn't, he'd miss it
All right.
completely.
So back on out real quick. Okay, so taking it back real slow. Once you hit that club, okay, or once you hit that ball, go ahead and go back. Okay. Chop. Feel that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where's our hands at? Pretty much just past our right foot now, right?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Now if I got you up to the top here, okay. Now shift into your left side. Okay. There's your shaft lean. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just we don't need to get too fancy there. Okay. We just need to get here, and I just need to feel like I'm stomping on a grate. Okay. Set up again for me. Good. Bring it on back.
Like that?
No.
That's too much.
Come on. Okay, so here we go. All right. Okay. So here we go. Here.
Oh, never mind. I thought it was-
See where we're at there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Once again. So push it back. Not exactly. Push it back. Uh-huh. Okay. Going to need to practice that. Okay. Again. See where that ball went?
No.
Over here, right?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, that ball needs to go straight back. Okay, so that tells me that we're opening up the face on the way back. Okay. Now just stomp on the grate for me. There you go. There you go. You feel how everything's moving down now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's what we've got to kind of do. Okay? It's not the arms moving for us. It's going to be the lower body that starts. Okay? Let's go. Here. Stomp. All right. See how the shaft is going forward now? You feel that? Okay. Once again. Mm-hmm. Down and through. Good. Okay. So let's talk about what we need to work on here, okay? Questions?
I don't really have questions.
All right, so first things first, okay? Let me kind of demonstrate this for you again, okay? We need to work on our takeaway, okay? Get our wrist set, okay? Because you can see in the video that we're losing our wrist angle on the way down, okay? But what we want to kind of do for this drill, right? Watch me. As I kind of do this, we're going to do it slow. Okay? If I go forward, then I get my forward shaft lean. Okay? For you right now, you're kind of going like this. Okay? So, we want to get here, push the club back, right? We're not trying to just jerk it up. Once we get here, up. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay? So we're going to need to do a mess of those here, just to about there, and then follow through. Okay? Now, the other big thing that we kind of worked on a little bit today was the grip. Okay? We need to make sure that we're getting that in the fingers and not getting that over on the palm a little bit. The big thing for us is making sure that when I get into my left hand, I can see my at least one knuckle here, and I can hinge up fairly easy. Okay? For you right now, it's kind of like this, and I got to move something, right? Does that make sense, big guy?
Yeah.
Okay, so getting our grip in there, nice and tight, and there. Okay, your path is really good right now. I wouldn't worry about the club path too much, but we do need to get a wrist set with our angle set with our wrists, and we need to maintain that. Okay, as you can kind of see here as we go through. All right, look at JT. All right, So that's one way of doing this drill. Let me give you the second one. Okay, so I'm going to get to right about here. Okay, and we're going to take that and we're going to try to keep it inside. Does that make sense?
Inside what?
The wall.
Okay.
Okay, you would be like this. Right? I want to get here. Boom. Right? And then I want to turn up and I want to make sure that I don't hit that wall. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So here, turn up, down. Miss that wall. Come on over here. Give me a shot on that. Okay. Rob, Brittany, how are you?
We're good, how are you?
I'll be with you guys in just a
Yeah,
sec.
take your time, no
Okay?
problem.
Yeah. So here we go. So one time for me. You good?
Step up just a little bit.
There you go. A little bit more. There you go. Okay. Now, swing on up to the top. All right. Now miss the wall. Yeah, there you go. Uh-huh. Does that give you a good sense of what we're trying to do, partner?
Yeah.
Good. All right. One more time for me. Okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. All right.
What's the distance from the wall he should be at?
I wouldn't say there's an exact distance. We used to use golf bags back in the day. But here, let's step on in here real quick. I would venture to guess I would get my hand set like this to about where the hand is just past the right foot and make sure there's a little space right there. Okay, right about there. And then what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're turning up against that wall, and then as we come through, making sure we don't hit the wall. Okay, so here, up, right, and then feel like we're staying inside that wall and turning through. Does that make sense, big guy?
Yep.
Any?
We did this once over at Green Chasers,
Okay.
you know where the machine is?
Mm-hmm.
There's like 20 people on the range.
Yeah.
Boom!
Yeah.
Hit the freaking thing. It's aluminum, right?
Right.
Everybody's turning around looking.
Yeah. So that's the big thing. If we can make sure that as we kind of turn in here like this and get going, we don't want to release our hands into the wall. Okay. We want to make sure that they're coming inside that wall and really get my chest to rotate through. Okay, big guy?
Yep.
All right, let's work on those drills, okay? I'll send you some videos of what we worked on. I've got the fourth lesson and now the fifth one coming on up for you.